Hey, we just got the brand new Kabuki bar in, and full disclosure, Chris is a friend of mine, and I'm a fan. This is part of my rehab toolkit, which we'll talk about later. But specifically, I want to talk today about the role of the lats in creating a stable upper back. Now, one of the things that you'll see is that this is my first safety squat bar, which Adrian Boz and I bought, I don't know, a million years ago, like 13 years ago or something. We needed one in the gym. And this is the one we could afford at the time. And Adrian gifted it to me. And what's interesting about this is that you'll see that in a lot of the videos of even like Dave Tate and the old guys, no disrespect, just OG, lifting, as they came out of the hole, you saw a lot of change in the upper back. And that's part of that reason is that it's interesting is that with these old school safety squat bars, difficult to create some kind of stability through the shoulder. And specifically what I'm talking about is that when we're looking at the role of the shoulder as it relates to the back system, we have to be thinking about what's going on with the lats. Part of the way that the upper back derives its stability, and especially moving towards a maintaining extension, is having access to these lats. And so what you'll see is that in athletes who grab their hands and flare the elbow, we tend to see softer upper backs, which is one of the reasons if you're going to grab your hands in something like an air squat, we want you to create rotation off that hand so that you can get a better lat recruitment and keep your upper back more engaged in this bottom position, right? You can't just do it from your erectors alone. You've got to get the big guns involved. Ultimately, we want our athletes to try to create this rotation organically through the shoulder. We've talked about it on this channel about trying to get hands in, or at least teaching people to get their lats involved. And part of the reason we see a lot of cueing of elbows up in the front squat is that when you're front squatting like this, you can see this actually not that different, difficult to create enough rotation where I can engage that lat into the system. It's why you'll see that the best powerlifters are grabbing the bar, trying to get elbows under the bar, and part of that magic of getting the elbows under the bar, and that's the model we subscribe to, is that I end up with a little bit better lat recruitment in this position than I do in this position, right? And I appreciate that this may be the only position you grab the bar in for now, but we want to move you into this system, even thinking about creating rotation under the bar. What's interesting about Chris's new setup on the safety squat bar is that it allows for a little bit more lat engagement, which is important when I'm trying to get someone back under the barbell to give enough, the most input I can into that spine to create a stable spinal system. So in this position, it's easier sometimes, instead of being up by my neck, to be in this lower position where I can easily externally rotate in this position and create stability through the lat. So the difference of being up here, where it's difficult for me to create a position where my lats are engaged, and down here, where I can actually get my lats engaged in this system by, again, trying to pull the elbows in tight and pull apart, that makes it a lot more easy for me in a squat system where I can't use the arm or not using the arm to create stability off the upper body. So the real question is, in your squat with the barbell on your back, how much lat can you get turned on? And that really is the limiting factor based on your anthropometry, where the barbell is, et cetera, et cetera. But what's nice about moving the grips from here to here is it's a lot easier when my athletes are in slings to manage this, for one, right? But two, we find that it's easier for them to get some lats on in this position to create a more stable upper back, and by creating a more stable upper back, creating a more stable spinal system. So once again, the idea is, hey, it doesn't matter what you're grabbing. If it's a goblet squat, we're trying to do the same thing. If you're air squatting, if you're front squatting, right, the same concepts apply. How do I create rotation through the shoulder to get the most lat on so that I can get the most back on and keep myself from rounding through that upper back? Hopefully that helps.